Zangpo, I'm Ashok Tirwa. In this program, we are in the Regional Revenue and Customs Office, Thimphu, RRCO. And for the taxpayers, it is now time to pay your tax for the income year 2008. The Joint Commissioner of Tax, RRCO Thimphu, says it is better for the taxpayers if they turn up sooner. Why is that?
For the taxpayers, it is always better that they come in early and not wait till the last minute or the due date, because then when they come at the last minute, first of all, they might have to wait in long queues, and they may not be able, the tax officials may not be able to give them their whole concentration or their time for them to check their documents properly. And more than that, if the taxpayers come at the last minute, what can happen is they may have to go back, whereby they will then have to come back later, whereby the due date may even be crossed. So that is why we feel that they should come early. They can clear their doubts, they can be given better taxpayer guidance, and help them to complete all their formalities, and not have to, during the time of tax assessment or field assessment, they would not face any difficulties like the documents are not intact or their deductions are not correct. So in that way, I think if they come early, then whatever they file, they can ensure that it is correct.
Okay. Can we start with PIT? What are the documents required? And if you're watching this program, you can also make note of the documents required while you're filing your tax return for PIT.
Specifically for PIT, what I would like to say is that the documents which you are required to bring in are, firstly, if you're earning salary, then you do need a TDS certificate from your employer. Out here, I would like to take the opportunity to tell all the withholding agencies, that is the finance officials who are deducting the TDS from the salary of the employees, to ensure that you give them correct TDS certificate, and also not wait till February to give them the certificates, so that they can come in, the taxpayers can come in and file by January or early February. So with that is with regard to the salary. Then you also, for rental income, if you have rental income, then you have to ensure, again, there will be another TDS there for the payments. If there are TDS, you have to ensure that the certificates are right. And if you have a loan, you have to get the financial statement or the interest component which you are going to claim as your deduction. You have to get the bank statement from the financial institution where you have taken the loan from. Then in case, then there will be again for this, rental income, that means your property, you might insure it with the RICB. So you have to get the insurance premium paid receipt or a certificate to that extent, okay? Then in case of other taxes like municipal taxes, or you may have paid, I think there'll be only municipal taxes in case of the other expenses. So that also you have to make sure that it is brought along with your PIT return form. Then if you have dividend income and you have taken loans to buy the shares, then you can claim the interest as a deduction, whatever interest you pay. So for that, again, you need the interest statement from the financial institution. Then in case of, with dividend, there is, again, for all the income sources, I think there will be a TDS component. In case of dividend also, if your income is more than 10,000, there will be a TDS by the company paying the dividend. So you have to ensure that you get the TDS certificate from the company. Then in case of interest income, that is the fixed deposit interest income, you have to, the only certificate, the only document you require is if your interest income is more than 10,000, then you have to get the TDS certificate from that financial institution where you have, where you had your fixed term deposit, and from where you got the interest, okay, earn the interest. Then apart from that, you go down to the other, then there is the income from other sources, where it is mainly pertains to hire of vehicles, privately owned vehicles. So for that also, out there, you just need your TDS certificate, because you may have hired it out to another business entity or a government organization. If they deduct 5% from your income, you have to ensure that you get your TDS certificate from them. Then you can go, I think we'll go down to the general deductions. So for general deductions, we have life insurance premium, okay? So this life insurance premium means, like, if you have this Millennium Development, Children's Millennium Education Scheme, or you have the Ajinangsa policy, that RSCB has all those, no? Then, so for that, you have to get the insurance premium certificate, which is issued by RICB. So that certificate, how much premium is paid in a year, that certificate you require from the from RICB, okay? Then in case of donations, then the next general deduction is donation. So if you have made a donation, okay, and it is to which is to either an exempt organization, which can be like exempt organization, we have a group which is listed.
It also includes
charitable organizations, but all these organizations who are collecting the donations should have a letter, means exempted, that they are allowed, that this donation is an exempt, is it exempt for tax purpose. So that letter has to be there along with the amount which has been paid by the whoever has donated that money. So most probably it would be a receipt for, like when you give a donation to an organization, they would surely give you a receipt, right? So that receipt plus that Minister of Finance letter. So that would be that. And for education allowance, I think it is you require your school fees and any other fees that you spend for your children. And if you're sending to a government school, then you need to provide the annual school annual report, progress report, right? And what we have noticed till now, in the past, what we are noticing is you claim the deduction for 2000. Now you are going to, when you bring in this time your PIT form, it would be for 2000, income year 2008. So what we have realized is people bring in the progress report of 2005 or 4, but that is wrong. You have to bring the progress report card for the calendar year 2008. So the progress report card should say it is for 2008. Then only we can give the deduction. So other than that, I think those are the basic, most important documents, if I just run down.
So what about the business income tax?
In case of business income tax, as such, the only support, in addition to their profit and loss account, their balance sheet, and the schedules which they submit, like theirs is more standard. There is a profit and loss account, balance sheet, and the schedules. In addition to that, they should be bringing in, the main important thing is for any payments which they have made, if they are going to ask for a credit, like advance tax or provisional tax, or even TDS, again for the business units, there'll be a TDS. For that, you require the TDS certificates again. So I think that is more or less for the BIT and CIT side.
So especially for PIT, if you calculate, if you exclude weekends and holidays, you have only 25 days for the taxpayers to come in and file their tax returns. And which means you have around 10,000, almost 10,000 PIT payers, taxpayers. So how are we going to manage it? And apart from that, you have BIT taxpayers coming in to filing their tax returns.
So if we look at the number of filers, yes, we have around 10,000. That is last year's, the approximate, that is we had for last year. Now this year we are expecting even more. So to meet this growing taxpayers, what we do is we try to distribute our manpower in such a way that we are able to focus to that area, towards that area where we feel that there is going to be a rush during that season. Like for example, in February, during the month of February, I would be trying to put more manpower into PIT because that is the date for filing. And then whereas in March, the due date for BIT and CIT is end of March. So then you will see the rush for the BIT and CIT only towards the end of March. So PIT, what we have currently, like from the tax, what we have done is we have currently kept around 10 people. 10 officials will be stationed to receive all the returns. So I think that would be sufficient, except for the time when all the people want to come towards the end. So that time what we try to do is we try to pull in additional manpower from the other sections, and of course then the other officials also who would be out on the field for BIT and CIT, I think we would bring them into and then try to, if we are not able to meet the the taxpayers, the number of taxpayers, then we would do that.
Over the years, we have noticed certain facilities in place for the taxpayers. We have tried to make the process faster and easier for the taxpayers. So, is there any more changes or improvements in the facilities?
With regard to facilities, I think we are always trying to think of giving our best, trying to provide the taxpayers the best services we can in the most efficient and fastest way, so that they do not have to wait in our office for a very long time to file a return. Then, however, it is a challenge because people all tend to come at the last minute. So this year, what we would be doing, we have planned to do is that we will be trying to have, before they go in for their filing, we would like to have, the help desk at the front, so that people can, before going in to file the return with the official there, they can at least have an idea if everything is intact or not, and then, prepare themselves before they go in, so that once they are with the official, with the tax PIT official who's going to receive their return, then they do not have to go back again and come back with the other things, other documents or whatever is required, okay? Then if they require also, we could give, advice over the phone. They can always call us over the phone to ensure that, what they are doing is right. If they need advice or they need some guidance or clarification, I think we are always there if they require us over the phone. Then other help is that we have noticed I have noticed during my last term that people are bringing in a lot of forms. An individual is carrying a lot of forms, which is creating inconvenience for the people who are coming in later, who have picked up the token later. So I don't know, we are discussing, we are just deciding on whether we should ask them to pick up one token for each return, or we should limit that a person should be carrying only 2 or 3 forms, then, so that the people who are waiting down the line also do not have to really wait for long. They will know exactly how long they are going to take, in order for their turn to come. So this is still we are still deciding on that factor.
Now, there will be many taxpayers who will be transferred from one region to another. So what are the things that they should keep in mind, and what are their options?
For people who are going to go on transfer, the first thing I would like to tell them is, if you feel that it is convenient for you, that you will not be in the region where you have filed last year, it is better that before you go on your transfer, you also apply to that region for transfer, then, so that when you go and file your return to the other region, wherever you're going to go on transfer, it becomes much more easier, because as you go to file there, your file will also be transferred to that RRCO. So it would be always advisable that you apply to this office for transferring your PIT returns to the region which is nearest to wherever you're going to be placed. So that would be my advice to them.
And what about those taxpayers who will be leaving their job or resigning from their job, or for the business people who are quitting their business? What they'll have to do?
For the people who will be resigning, I think they should ensure that they have filed their PIT till the last, for that income year. Supposing I'm going to resign by December 2008, what you do is you file your income tax return for 2008. And next year, 2009, if you don't have any income, you have to ensure that you inform the RRCO where you have filed that you have resigned, and that you will no longer be having a salary income, for that matter, okay? And in case of a BIT unit, you all have to always inform the RRCO when you are going to close down your unit, so that if there is any outstanding taxes, or if there is, we also need to update our system that the unit is closed, so that we do not land up corresponding with them unnecessarily.
And what about those taxpayers who have not filed their tax returns in the last season? Maybe because they were not here, or maybe they forgot to do it. Are they liable for penalties? And if they want to file the tax, what are the documents they should come up with when they come to file their tax returns?
Yeah, this is what I have noticed over the last 1 year that people are not aware on what people think that they do not have to file their returns because they are not in station or in the country. So we have been considering those cases, and what we have asked them to do mainly is, okay, if you are out on training and then you come back, so we ask them to provide us the certificate to support their stay out of the country, okay? So if you're gone on for studies, then you get a certificate, right, your graduation. Or if you are joining back to the job where you are, I mean, from where you have taken your study leave, so they issue a letter, you know. We ask them to come through their organization so that it gets certified by them also. Then we do consider. But however, now I think we have been trying to inform all the taxpayers that if they do go out of station, out of the country for more than 6 months, they should inform the RRCO. And if you're going for a longer duration, then if you're not going to be in the country when the PIT season is, during the PIT season, you should authorize somebody to file on your behalf, and then so that there is no, you know, lapse of, there is no break in your filing status.
What is the penalty for not filing the tax return or for not paying the tax at all?
The fines, if you go by the fines that is actually saying to be invoked are that if you do not file your returns, you have to pay 100 nultram per day as fine per day. That is effective from 1st March, okay? So that will be calculated every day. It goes by 100 nultram. Then if you go for non-filing only, okay, if you go for non-filing, it is actually saying 100% of your income, and which comes out to be very high. Supposing my total income, salary income in the year is 200,000, that means your fine would also be that much, so which is very high. So, but then what we realize is people have not done it intentionally, is mainly because they have been out of the country and they're not very much aware. So those cases, we deal it on a case-by-case basis.
Thank you for talking to us, and thank you very much. Thank you for watching this program. And just a reminder, the tax season for PIT starts from 1st of January till the end of February. And for BIT, the tax season, the tax dates are from 1st of January till the end of March. And don't forget to remind your finance officer to prepare your TDS certificate at the earliest, so to avoid penalties. I'm Ashok Tirwa with my camera person Hishal Endop. This is goodbye.